Hello and welcome to the Quibber channel. I am Jason, your host. Today I feel okay. It's an okay day. I got enough sleep. I managed to sleep for 5 hours. Interrupted, of course, every half an hour to an hour. But hey, I got 5 hours of sleep. And now I'm out on the Quingo. I've been wanting to go out for a few days, but I haven't been able to get the energy together to leave the house. Just been a lot of stuff going on. So this video is going to go up on Twitter as well as everything else. And I want this to be an introduction to why mobility scooters are so amazing for disabled people. Let's begin with me. My name's Jason. And for the last 5 years, apart from this year, and halfway through last, I have only left the house 7 or 8 times at the most. Those times were for hospital visits, for CT scans, and for other situations I could not put off. They were massive undertakings which I would have to plan for 2-3 days ahead, and which would wear me out and destroy me for 2-3 days afterwards. I would literally be stuck doing nothing after I've left the house and come back. But last year, let's do my official diagnosis is autistic spectrum disorder, with comorbidities in bipolar type 2, ADHD, and with a little bit of added PTSD, and I'm in remission from bowel cancer. Yay! So, last year, at the start of the year, I had my review with the DWP. And while talking to the really nice woman, she was really nice, and by the end of it she was very sympathetic, because I find that with all the stuff that I've dealt with and all the stress and pain and suffering that I've gone through and everything that is a challenge for me, that when even people like the assessors from the DWP hear my story and all the stuff, they're like, they very much end up switching to my side. I always get what I would class as a glowing review by them, and them saying, they always say the same, I don't make the decision for you, but I don't think there's going to be a problem keeping you on what you've got. And then she said to me, have you thought about trying for the higher mobility? Getting yourself a car, trying to find some way to create a safe space, and that's what she called it, a safe space outside of your house. And I had never really thought of it. And so we researched cars and getting one on the mobility scheme. Of course, it ended up that I didn't end up getting the enhanced version of the mobility thing, which could have been used for a mobility scooter as well. But basically, when it came down to, after talking to a lot of people, I realised that a car was no good for me. I don't drive. I can't drive. It's not within my functional ability. I would have to have someone who was a driver. Pardon me. I would have to depend on someone else. And seeing as no one I know lives close to me, my closest friend comes and visits once a month, it would be a waste. It would be a silly thing. So instead we thought, well, what are the other options? So we thought a mobility scooter, and I was like, but mobility scooters are for old people who are disabled, who have not got legs, who are paralysed, who can't do anything and all that. It's the same for power chairs and all that kind of thing, where I don't know, and then my And My doctor sort of set me to me aside, as did some of my friends, and pointed out that I wasn't able to leave the house, that if I tried to leave the house by walking, I become non-functional, that I can take 2 or 3 steps outside the garden and outside my safe space, and that's it. I can be on the floor. My brain can completely disassociate from life. I don't exist out there. It can trigger very, very bad things for me. So we came upon the idea of this, and after a lot of convincing of me, I thought, okay, good. Maybe if we go a mobility scooter, and because it's technology, maybe I can leverage the idea of technology, because in my autism I have an affinity for technology, for computers and everything like that. And I think, okay, so these mobility scooters are technology. They are a piece of technology. Maybe I can leverage that and make it so I can create a mobile, safe space, a place where I can exist and leave my house. Now, because we didn't get the mobility component, the higher mobility component, I had to sell some of my other coping strategies. Spare computer I had, and a laptop that I had, the spare ones. It was scary to do that, but so many people were convinced me that this might be something. I watched lots of videos on it, and I did a lot of research on it. I thought, this could really help me. And so we went with it, and I got my first mobility scooter, which was a Kimco Max, and it was lovely. It wasn't what I really wanted, but it worked, and I thought, oh my god, I can leave the house. I was so positive. This triggered my bipolar to kick into a really, really mania thing. I was so hyper. I thought I could fucking visit the moon. I was like, so remember, for almost 5 years, I hadn't left the house since my wife died. To put you in perspective, my early life consisted of me going from A to B, A to B, A to B. I never went out for no reason. And when I was moving from A to B, when I was going around and exploring, when I was going from outside of my house, I would be looking for a place to hide. If my mum sent me out to play, what have they got there? There's something in the way over there that will make it almost impossible to go that way. Okay, I'm going to have to turn around. This is what happens sometimes if someone puts something in the way. So I can't get around that thing. I usually can get around, but there's a piece of wood just over there. And it might be flimsy in that. I need to just turn around because of that. Right. We'll go back this way. And so basically, my entire life, I've just gone from A to B. Even when I was in college, I would go down, instead of walking down the road where people were, I had to go down the tracks. I had to go down the fields to get to the thingy. When I was a kid, I would hide in people's backyards when people weren't there and that, because it was away from people. I would do all these things to keep myself safe, to keep myself in a safe situation where I didn't have contact with people. I didn't know why I didn't like being around people. Of course, I didn't get my diagnosis and everything until later. But my entire life, I have never gone out to just go around. And when Paola was alive, I would push her wheelchair, and I could focus on the wheelchair and focus on Paola, so I didn't have to think about being out there. So for 5 years on my own, since my Paola's death, I spent all that time basically living in my house, living upstairs in my bedroom and not leaving. I functioned. I had independence. I had so many coping strategies, but I didn't ever leave my house. Because leaving my house was a bad thing, because going outside my house would mean I would just basically fall to the floor. So even, for example, the very last time I tried to leave the house was I tried to take the dog for a walk. Now my dog's a house dog. I always have older dogs when I have rescue dogs as my dog companion, and they're ones that are happy to be inside. He has the run of the house in the backyard. My dogs have never ever had a problem with not being able to leave. I'm going to cross over here. Why not? Yes, this thing can go off-road easily. Beep beep. I will go. Beep beep. So yes, we're going. Yay! So my brain's a bit fuzzy at the moment. But the thing is, once I got a mobility scooter, I thought I can leave the house, because it worked so well that I could be holding on to that, and I was so hyper right at the start. I even went to my doctor because I have to okay any changes that I'm making to my treatment and my coping strategies and everything with him. And I said to him, I was just rambling on because I was like so hyper and happy. My mobility scooter fit into my waiting room and I went straight to his office riding my mobility scooter, and I was beaming from corner to corner. I was so happy, and he could tell I was in a complete hypermania type thing. And I was like, and he was saying, "How do you feel?" Like he says, "I'm thinking of contacting Just Eats and Deliveroo. Maybe I can deliver food on this. Maybe I can go out on this and deliver food to people in there." And he looked at me as if I was, well, let's just say he knows me quite well and knows what I've been through and knows what I've dealt with. And he said, okay. And he started listening. He made one simple point. He said, you do know that you'd have to talk to people on the phone, that you'd have to go to people's front doors and give them stuff. And we were like, oh, yeah, He knew that it was just, my brain had turned off the risk versus reward part of my brain, and I was just on a hyper because I was so happy that I was able to leave the house. So after that I calmed down and realised that I do have limitations. I found out the limitations when I got a canopy for my old scooter, not this one but my old one, and I ordered this canopy because British weather is not wonderful, and I didn't want to be stopped by the rain or anything from leaving my house. I carry a lot of technology with me, so the idea of it being out in the rain and things getting wet freaked me the hell out. It was stopping me from leaving the house, so I thought, we need a canopy. We need to put a canopy on this so I can go and do stuff. It's needed. Ooh, looks like other people are on mobility scooters. I see them in the distance. Yay. Sorry, getting distracted. Morning. And there's like a kind of camaraderie between scooter riders. It's kind of cool. It's like being in a biker gang. So anyway, focus, Jason. Don't get distracted. So easy to get distracted. Well, it was pure joy. People who are disabled have no idea of the joy of being able to leave the house. Maybe through lockdown and that they will have figured it out at the end, how much they should appreciate just being alive. But damn, it was amazing. I was so happy to be able to, and it's become my safe space. I can go to Tesco. But this is my Quingo. This is a more advanced one. This has got a lot more technology on it. It's got a rear-facing camera. It's classed as what's called a Class 3. A Class 3 means that it can go on the road. It can go up to 8 mile an hour on the road and 4 mile an hour on here, and in places like this. It's not the easiest one to move. It's not got really. It's very hard to turn corners sometimes on it. You have to have good strength in your arms for it. But it allows me to go out, to leave my house. I don't have to leave the house, but when my mind's focused enough, when I'm in enough of a good condition, I can leave my house. I can go out. I can visit places. I can't get off the scooter. I got distracted. I was talking about. Okay, let's revert to what I was talking about because I got distracted. I bought that canopy. I bought it at the local disability place, and I thought, okay, I went to the disability place, went inside the disability place on my scooter, I bought it. It says, oh, we can have it delivered. It says, no, just bring it out into the car park. I'll fit it myself. I'll put it on myself. Oh, my brain sometimes just forgets what problems I have. My brain just forgets what problems I have. Okay, so they nicely took it out of the cardboard box. It was only simple. It would connect to a piece of metal on the front, connect to a piece of metal on the back of my old scooter. It was a simple thing, like a 5-minute job. It was built to be able to put on and off all the time. It wasn't permanent. And I got off my scooter without thinking. I walked literally 2 foot away from my scooter and I started to disconnect. I started to freeze up. I had to reach back over and put my hand on my scooter and hold my scooter. And then I was okay. And then I spent the next sorry, just getting distracted. I'm trying not to be distracted. I'm trying to focus, because that's a good thing. And then that took me an hour and a half to fit 2 parts, because every time I moved it closer, I'd have to grab it, pull it closer, then put my hand on my scooter and take a moment to center myself back at my scooter. And then it was... you got to understand, when a disabled person, we fight so much to be able to do anything, to be able to even exist or just do the tiniest things, that when we're able to do something a little more, it's amazing to us. I get why people say that, yeah, having a job would be a good thing for people. Yeah, I agree with that. But some of us will never be able to have a job. We'll never be able to do that part of it. My functionality, I can go out on this scooter, I can explore, I can go places, but I can never get out of the scooter. But it gives me a freedom, it gives me fresh air. Let's just move down here. So we're going to leave down here in this direction, and I'm going to stop this video in a minute because it's been almost a 20-minute video. I do ramble, so I hope this is just the basics. Now I'll do another one, I'll follow-on video, but that'll be on my channel anyway, so let's stop now for a sec. And I will say goodbye for now. I hope you're all having a good day.